Have you ever stopped in the middle of your day, looked around, and asked yourself, what if everything I've done, all the effort, the struggles, the quiet sacrifices, what if none of it actually mattered? Stay with me until the very end, because by the time this video finishes, you might never look at your life the same way again, and you'll finally feel free from that heavy question weighing on your heart. I was picking up my granddaughter, Emily, from school one ordinary Tuesday afternoon. Nothing special about the day. The sky was grey, traffic was slow, same as always. But when she walked toward the car, I could tell something was off. Not crying. Not slamming doors. Just quiet. Too quiet. She climbed in, buckled up, and stared straight ahead like the world outside the window had nothing left to offer her. Backpack still on her lap, like she was carrying more than just books. "How was school, kiddo?" I asked. She shrugged. Fine. At 15, fine usually means the opposite. We drove in silence for a few minutes. I didn't push. I've learned that sometimes silence needs room to breathe. Then, out of nowhere, she turned to me and asked the question that stopped my heart. "Grandpa, do you ever feel like nothing you do really matters? Like, no matter how hard you try, it all just disappears?" I gripped the wheel a little tighter. Because that question? It wasn't new to me. I've carried it for decades. My name is George. I'm 72 now. I've seen presidents come and go, watched the internet change everything, buried friends, held newborns, lost jobs, started businesses, made mistakes I can't undo, and celebrated wins that felt huge at the time, but faded fast. And through every chapter of my life, that same question has whispered in the back of my mind. Does any of this matter? Emily's asking it at 15. I'm still asking it at 72. The only difference is perspective. She's looking ahead at a long road full of possibilities. I'm looking back at a road already traveled. And from where I'm standing now, I finally see the truth clearly. We live in a world that screams at us to matter in big ways. Be viral. Be rich. Be famous. Build something massive. Leave a legacy everyone talks about. Social media feeds us highlight reels of people living important lives. Influencers with millions of followers. CEOs on magazine covers. Speakers on giant stages. And if you're not one of them? If you're just living? Working a regular job, raising kids, paying bills, helping friends when you can. It's easy to feel invisible. Like you're failing at the one thing we're all supposed to achieve, mattering. I chased that too. In my 40s, I worked 80-hour weeks trying to grow my small hardware store into something bigger. I wanted to be the guy people respected. The one who made it. I missed birthdays. Argued with my wife over money. Told myself it would all be worth it when I finally arrived. But here's the quiet truth I wish someone had pulled me aside and told me back then: the things that truly matter in life almost never feel important in the moment. Let me tell you about Margaret. She lived 3 doors down from us for 43 years. Quiet woman. Retired 3rd grade teacher. Never married. No kids. Lived alone with her cat and her garden. Every morning, she'd walk to the same little elementary school. Taught the same grade. Same classroom. Year after year. When she retired, the school threw a small party in the gym. Maybe 25 people showed up. Kids brought handmade cards. She got a plaque that said, "Beloved teacher," and some grocery store flowers. No news crew. No big speech. 2 years later, she passed peacefully in her sleep. I went to her funeral expecting a half-empty church. Instead, it was overflowing. People lined the walls. A doctor in his 50s stood up and said Margaret was the first adult who ever told him he was smart, when everyone else called him slow. A young woman who now runs a children's charity said Margaret stayed after school every day for months to help her learn to read. A father brought his own daughter to the podium and said, "I'm a teacher today because Mrs. Margaret showed me what kindness in a classroom looks like." One after another. Dozens of lives. All touched deeply. All changed forever. And Margaret? She went to her grave thinking she was just doing her job. She never knew the ripple she created. That day at her funeral, something shifted inside me. We think mattering looks loud. It looks like stadiums and spotlights. But real impact? It's quiet. It's small. It's invisible most of the time. It's the conversation you have with a friend who's falling apart, even though you're tired. It's the extra 5 minutes you spend listening to your kid talk about their day. It's holding the door, sending the text, showing up when no one would blame you for staying home. Let me tell you about the night that probably saved my life. I was 39. My business was drowning. We were behind on the mortgage. I was drinking too much, sleeping too little, and pretending everything was fine. One winter night, I sat in my car outside a bar I'd been visiting more often than I wanted to admit. Engine running. Staring at the door. Debating whether tonight was the night I'd finally walk in and not come out the same. Then someone tapped on my window. It was Tom, a guy I'd met maybe 3 times at neighborhood cookouts. Barely knew him. He didn't ask why I was sitting there. Didn't judge. Just said, "Hey George, I'm heading to the diner for coffee. Wanna come?" That's it. We sat in a booth for 2 hours. He talked about his daughter's soccer game. A fishing trip gone wrong. Some dumb movie he'd seen. Nothing deep. Nothing profound. But in that ordinary conversation, something in me unclenched. I didn't go into that bar. I drove home. Tom probably forgot that night by breakfast. But it changed everything for me. I got help. Turned things around. I'm here today because a man I barely knew offered a simple invitation on a cold night. That's how life works. Your greatest impact is almost always hidden from you. My late wife, Clara. God, I miss her. She had this habit of writing actual letters. In the age of texts and emails, she'd sit at the kitchen table with stationery and a pen. She wrote to our sons when they left for college. To old friends across the country. To cousins she hadn't seen in years. 9. I'd tease her. "Clara, just call them." After she passed, I cleaned out her desk and found showboxes full of letters people had written back. Almost every single one said something like, "Your letter came on the exact day I needed it. I keep it in my drawer and read it when things get hard." You'll never know how much that meant. She wasn't trying to change lives. She was just being Clara. Loving people the way she always did. And that's the secret I want you to carry with you today. You don't have to be extraordinary to matter. You just have to be present. Kind. Consistent. The world is held together by ordinary people doing ordinary things with love. The parent who packs lunches at 6 a.m. The coworker who notices you're off and asks if you're okay. The stranger who lets you merge in traffic when you're late. The friend who answers the phone at midnight. None of it feels big. None of it gets applauded. But it's everything. So if you're watching this and that question is eating at you, does anything I do matter? Let me tell you, from the other side of 70 years. Yes. More than you can possibly imagine. Your life is already leaving echoes you'll never hear. Ripples you'll never see. 9. Stop chasing the spotlight. Start showing up in the shadows. That's where real lives are changed. And one day, when you're old like me, sitting with your own granddaughter, you'll realize the truth. Every small act of love mattered. Every time you chose kindness over convenience. Every moment you decided to care. It all mattered. You mattered. More than you'll ever know. Thank you for letting this old man share his heart with you today. If this touched you, pass it on. Not for likes. just because someone out there needs to hear it. Have you ever stopped in the middle of your day, looked around, and asked yourself, what if everything I've done, all the effort, the struggles, the quiet sacrifices, what if none of it actually mattered? Stay with me until the very end, because by the time this video finishes, you might never look at your life the same way again, and you'll finally feel free from that heavy question weighing on your heart. I was picking up my granddaughter, Emily, from school one ordinary Tuesday afternoon. Nothing special about the day. The sky was grey, traffic was slow, same as always. 2. But when she walked toward the car, I could tell something was off. Not crying. Not slamming doors. Just quiet. Too quiet. She climbed subscribe my channel for more videos, thanks. Have you ever stopped in the middle of your day, looked around, and asked yourself, what if everything I've done, all the effort, the struggles, the quiet sacrifices, what if none of it actually mattered? Stay with me until the very end, because by the time this video finishes, you might never look at your life the same way again, and you'll finally feel free from that heavy question weighing on your heart. I was picking up my granddaughter, Emily, from school one ordinary Tuesday afternoon. Nothing special about the day. The sky was grey, traffic was slow, same as always. But when she walked toward the car, I could tell something was off. Not crying. Not slamming doors. Just quiet.